representing Kano Municipal, the only gentleman from the municipality in the whole of the Green Chambers. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, let me thank the mover of this bill. I think the bill has come at a very critical point of our nation where we are looking at issues of diversifying our economy. But Mr. Speaker, one other critical important issue that we're forgetting is the issue that has to do with the raw material itself. We can revive the textile industries, but if they don't have the raw materials to be able to produce the textile products, then I think that will be a problem. I knew that there used to be a fund called Cotton, Textile and Garment Fund, which cut across the value chain, right from the issue of the person who produces, that's the person who produces the cotton, to the person who does the textile production, that is the company or the manufacturing company, and the ginnery which takes care of perhaps maybe the byproduct at the end of the day. What we are trying to do is that this fund must address the issue that has to do with the issue of raw materials. It's not only to look at because if you look at most of our farmers now, they are no longer interested in producing cotton. It's no longer attractive. It's the issue that has to do with the economies of scale. So I think it's an important issue that while we are passing this bill, and while we're looking at this, because part of the problem the industry or the entire sector has is the issue that has to do with getting not funds but cheaper funds. And that is why most of our textile products cannot be competitive when you compare it to the issue of the Chinese textile, who are producing perhaps maybe because of the kind of funding backing they are getting, and they become more competitive than us in terms of their pricing and co. The issue of the product itself, whether the product we produce is of quality, it meets the standard, is of course another issue. But come to think about it, that Nigeria is to produce the best textile when you compare it to other countries of the world. Somewhere along the line, problems started, and people will have to find a way of perhaps maybe cutting their ways of maximizing their own profit, and that is why the issue of producing qualitative product becomes an issue. So, Mr. Speaker, while I support this, we need to look at that. I knew before past governments have done what we call Textile Revival Fund. Why it failed, it hasn't worked. We have the Cotton Textile Ginnery Fund. Why it's not working, that is another issue. But the bill that is giving the fund perhaps maybe the backing that it should have in terms of the legal backing, the regulatory backing, I think is a good thing. But we need to look at the issue of production. We need to look at the issue of the farmers, which is key, because without getting the cotton, there won't be any textile product. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
If I'm to answer your question as a student, you ask about what do we do in terms of becoming competitive. Now, Mr. Speaker, globally, as everyone did say, it's just about protection and restriction. But however, Mr. Speaker, all we need to do, first of all, let me even thank my dear big brother and mentor, Honorable Jerry Alaguso, for bringing this to the fore. Mr. Speaker, textile business is a cash cow business. All of us here, we wear clothes. There is no way a business like textile industry will not progress or will not bring about profit when we engage in them. But however, the government needs to do a lot by protecting its own industries against all other. We've seen today between America and China, where Trump will put taxes on so goods imported from China to protect American goods. Well, also, China will also play the same role by increasing duties in imported goods from America to protect Chinese goods. Mr. Speaker, if this money is to be provided, we need to provide check system. Check system in the sense that a lot of grant loans will be given to operators of particular industry, and that money will be diverted. This time around, we need to have a paradigm shift from the old order of granting these loans or other incentives to industries. All we need to do is for them to identify what they want to buy, what kind of machine they need globally. In providing that loan, we pay to such companies and the offshore for them to import such items. Mr. Speaker, if we can provide bailout to GENCOs, DISCOs, and we still have darkness, why not we provide that to textile industry where all of us will cover ourselves?
Beautifully well by looking at our economy vis-a-vis the textile industry, and they are only trying to analyze the kind of economy that we are practicing. It's a rentier economy, an economy that is not backed up by production, is not backed up by entrepreneurship, is not backed up by science and technology. So it's a purely a rentier economy because of the discovery of oil. And so what everybody does in Nigeria today is to wait somewhere, create a small space, and begin to collect either commission or rent. A proper economy is an economy where you add value. I'm trying to answer your question now. Where you try to add value to what God has naturally created. The first two most important things when you are talking about economy is first the human capital, then to the natural resources vis-a-vis your agricultural products. If you look at the economy of America, for those of us who are interested in history, if you read the history of America in the 18th century, America started developing from production of cotton alone. We begin to look at our problem from funding alone. We are not solving the problem. What if we were about entrepreneurship? We are not talking about people who desire entrepreneurship. It's not about somebody getting few millions of naira to go and invest. It's about people who have idea and they are ready to stay with the idea for a very long time before the whole public sees it and begin to imbibe it. That is entrepreneurship. It's not about people having 50, 100 million naira. So go and set up an economy, a business. You are a businessman. You are just a businessman. An entrepreneur is somebody who will come with an original idea and it will even involve science and technology. So these are basic things that will answer your question: farming, entrepreneurship, and our attitude. And we must henceforth cease to continue to run a rentier economy. It's a rentier economy and it saddens the mind.
No issue. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. I submit.